Welcome to this week's edition of the Wheels and Deals Community Spotlight, brought to you by Wheels and Deals of Pomeroy and the Meigs Independent Press.
This is Carrie Rose, the Meigs Independent Press, and I'm here again this week with Community Spotlight, sponsored by Wheels and Deals, here in Pomeroy, Ohio. And this week I have with me Tyler Eblen, who is mayor of Rutland, and there's a lot of things that have been going on. If you haven't been paying attention to what's been going on as far as Rutland goes, there's been a lot of stuff. You guys have been very, very busy. You've been really busy. But you have something in particular that we're going to talk about that if you grew up in the area and you spent any time as a youth doing anything out that way, you have memories of the Rutland Civic Center. So what's going on with the building today?
So we have a lot of exciting things going on, and I greatly appreciate Carrie with the Meigs Independent Press for bringing us here today, bringing the Village of Rutland, allowing us to express our opportunities and different things that we are working on. So the Rutland Civic Center is our municipal building. It's also a community center, and recently we have started a new program called the Rutland Civic Center Endowment Program.
That program is designed to help make sure that that building's going to be there.
Yes, absolutely. So I'll give you a little bit of history of the building itself. So the building was built in 1955 as part of the Rutland High School at the time. It was the auditorium annex to the high school. They had their athletic facilities in there. And when the high school closed in the late 60s, early 70s, the building stood vacant for a short period of time, which a lot of people don't realize that. And shortly thereafter, the Village of Rutland acquired the building and turned it into the community center and the Village Hall. And so over the years, obviously, as you could imagine, it's 2021. The building is nearing almost 70 years old, and there's a lot of issues with the building itself. And so with the endowment program, that gives the Village of Rutland the opportunity to partner with people in the community, businesses, individuals, families, organizations, to chip in and help us out with getting enough revenue to renovate the building and bring it back up to a modern facility for everyone to use.
And I know that there's been some work that you've already done.
Yes.
As far as I know that there's been some painting and there's been some overall things.
Absolutely.
But so tell us a little bit about what's been done so far.
Sure. There's been a lot of work done so far, and all of this work has been completed by donations, monetary contributions from individuals. Some work has been done drawing money from the Civic Center Fund, but of course with the current financial situation of the village, it's difficult to really pull a lot of money from public funds to do this. So a lot of the improvements that you see they've been financed through monetary contributions. So what we have done so far is we've improved the lighting in the building. We've upgraded all the, I should say upgraded, we've put new light bulbs in all the lights, LED light bulbs. That is helping with the output of electricity. Improves lighting in the building, improves on utility cost, obviously. We are trying to get the building weatherproofed, if you would say. We've been trying to stop cold drafts coming in from the doors. So we've been putting down some new materials for that. We've also been trying to improve the cleanliness of the building, so just making it look more presentable, keeping it clean, keeping it accessible for people. We've been doing some painting in the gym. There's been some water damage at one point when we had water coming in from one of the windows and it had damaged the wall, and we've been really improving that by getting all that taken care of and then doing a new coat of paint. So the gym is really coming along, and we've got a lot of different things going on with improvements. So.
And the idea is this is going to be there for the community. The whole idea is this is something people can rent.
Absolutely.
And they can be able to use it. You have an event you want to be able to hold there. And it's an asset. I mean, how many people can you hold in there? What's the capacity?
The capacity in the gym is about 300 people, maybe possibly a little more. It's a major asset to the community. The building is used very often, and last year there was about a 4-month period where it was every single night the building was being used for some type of purpose. So the building is used very often, and so you can see why it's so important that we have some revenue coming in to help finance improvements in the building. I always tell people that if they want to keep this building alive for another 20, 40 years, we've really got to sink some money into it to bring it back up to where it needs to be.
And that is, if you've tried to do any kind of large-scale event in this county, you know that there may be another venue here that can do 300, but I'm not sure. An indoor venue with 300 people, that's a lot.
Yes.
And to be able to have that, it has a stage, it has all that,
Yes.
you know, that's there.
Yes.
And it's a gym.
Yes.
So it's,
Yes.
you know,
So
you've got a basketball court there.
It's a dual purpose.
Yeah.
It's your auditorium and it's your gymnasium. You know, you can have performances in there, shows. You can also have sports practices and events. So it's a dual purpose. It's a great facility, especially for the Rutland community. So.
Right. And it's, you know, it's one of those things, everybody always says, oh, well, they should take care of that, or they should have kept that instead of tearing it down. The problem is somebody has to step up and take the lead to do that, which you're doing that.
Yes.
And council is making that you and council are making this a priority.
Yes, absolutely.
So you have that. So now it's the community's part to say, we want to keep this, we need to invest in it.
Right.
So as far as the endowment goes, how does that work?
So the endowment program, and this is probably one of my favorite programs as mayor. Really, the Civic Center is kind of my baby. So, you know, I love the building. I really want to see it improved. And I want to see the community come together to really make those improvements, because it takes a whole community. You know, I can't do anything as the mayor. It takes people working with me. So the endowment program, there's 3 different types of sections of the program, if you will. We have an annual sponsorship. We have a room adoption program where you can actually adopt a room in the Civic Center, and you can finance that room's renovation, and then we will, in turn, in exchange for that, we will dedicate that room in honor of someone that, you know, you choose, or maybe an organization or a business. And then we also have a project-specific sponsorship. So if we do a specific renovation project, you can, you know, adopt that project and donate for that project's improvements. So the annual sponsorship, we have 3 tiers, and really we just have those tiers to break down, you know, what each individual person would get if they would donate. So the first tier is tier 1. That would be anything under $150 a year. And you can donate whatever you want a year. It doesn't have to be a super big amount, because all that money adds up, of course. And so the first tier, what we like to do is we would like to get a plaque in the main lobby and recognize all of those, put those on a plaque, be a permanent plaque that we have on the wall. Also give a certificate of appreciation. Get a picture with me and also some other council members, and have that put in the newspaper. And then also get a quarterly newsletter, so you know exactly what your money is being used for, and you can see the progress and improvements. Our tier 2 is anything above 150 but below 300. So that you get everything that I just mentioned, plus you get, that's when your advertisement starts to come into play. So you get a 4-foot by 3.5-foot advertisement banner for your business or organization. And even if you're a family, you could still get a banner for your family.
So you could do it in memory of somebody.
Absolutely, you can do it in memory of someone. And then we also we will offer a 10% discount for rentals. And then also you will get a cycled photo advertisement on our social media page for the second tier. And then the third tier sponsor is anything above $300 a year, and that will include an 8-foot by 3.5-foot banner. That will also include a 20% discount on the Civic Center rental, and then also a photo and a video advertisement for your business organization. So the more money you sponsor for us, then the more we give in return for that sponsorship.
That's a lot.
Yes.
And that's something that anybody, if you want to do it in memory of,
Yes.
if you want to do, or if a family wants to do that,
Yes.
businesses, organizations,
Absolutely.
that's open. I'm sure that you would take, if, you know, 4-H clubs, anything
Oh,
like that,
absolutely,
want,
yeah.
you know, Boy Scouts,
Sure.
it's a project that would be, again, this is something I know growing up. I was in 4-H, and that's where we always had our judgings.
Yes.
If you
Yes.
had any miscellaneous projects, things like that, you had your judging out there. And I can remember sitting there on the old benches. You don't have those there anymore, but I can remember sitting there,
Right.
and just that was one of the first times that I learned interview skills.
Yes.
And I got to do those things. So, you know, to me, it holds a special place, because
absolutely.
that's where I started off with some of those, you know, those early projects that led to me being here today. So you never know what value some place is really going to have.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we have had some wonderful buildings. that we've lost over the years here.
Yes,
And,
unfortunately.
And there have been people that have seen the value in some of them and really worked hard to spearhead to keep them. And this is something that, you know, especially in that part of the county, that's a great asset.
It is. It is.
And it's a beautiful building.
It is.
It really is.
It is, and it has so much potential. So much potential too.
So is there anything in particular coming up that you want to try to, is there anything prioritized that you want to try to hit first?
Sure.
Or?
So I'll kind of, and I'm glad you asked that because I did want to get into the issues of the building itself. So we have a really big problem with our roof. Our roof is leaking very badly. The gymnasium not so much, but in other parts of the building it's leaking pretty bad. The roof was put on in the 90s, so it's past, you know, it's past due of its replacement. So getting the roof fixed is going to be one of our priorities. Obviously, that's going to take a lot of money because it's, you know, the building itself is about 13,000 square feet, so it's going to take a lot of money to get that roof replaced. But another thing that we would like to do is get that gym floor repaired. You know, the gym floor has so many issues, presents a safety hazard sometimes. So we want to make sure that that gym floor is fixed. That's another priority that I have. Getting the building weatherproofed, you know, getting new windows in the building is going to be such a big help with keeping moisture out and also making sure that, you know, we're doing better with our heating and our cooling. So
it's as energy efficient as
yes,
possible.
Absolutely, absolutely. So there are a lot of different things that we want to try to get done so far, but mainly it's getting the building, improving the outside shell, you know, starting there and then proceeding onward to the interior. So
there's so many things that you have going on there. I know this has to be overwhelming.
yes, it's very overwhelming.
So do you need volunteers? Do you need additional help?
Yes,
I mean,
and that's actually part of the endowment program. So what we have is we have the Friends of Rutland Civic Center program, and then it's subdivided into endowment program and volunteer program.
Okay.
So you can, you know, if you get with me, you can volunteer anytime that you want for however many hours you want to volunteer. We're going to try to work on some volunteer benefits. That's a recommendation that I'm going to make to the council, you know, to maybe some free Civic Center rentals or something. But yes, volunteers, you know, the more people we have up there, that saves us on labor cost, obviously, when we do improvements. So volunteers would be wonderful to have.
And I know that you, again, if you haven't been in there for a while, you need to see the progress that they've already done. It is amazing because at one point I went in that building and I really thought, this isn't coming back. And you can see it. You can see it can come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's usable right now.
Yes.
It's just, it needs to have that extra to keep it.
Yes.
And
yes.
of course the history
Yes.
of Rutland High School and you know, all of the memories that people have had, you know, maybe playing grade school ball practices and different things on there. I mean, you know, there's been all kinds of things. I can remember some Christmas parties out there. I mean, there's all kinds of different things.
Yes.
So, and it's available for
Yes,
those kind of
it
things.
is.
So
It is.
that helps out when you rent that
Absolutely.
space.
Absolutely. And one thing that we're trying to do is we're trying to do some office rearrangements too. Right now we're kind of crammed into one office in the building. We would like to expand and get some more office spaces usable, because what that would do with our current office space, that is the biggest room in the building, except for the gym, it would allow people to have a smaller community room for smaller parties or smaller meetings and such. And so that's something we want to offer to the community. I know that, you know, being in the gym, it's a lot to heat the gym for just a small amount of people. So having that little community room that we would like to create would be a big help too. So.
And it also presents an opportunity to be able to do, you guys have been doing a lot as far as having your meetings on video.
Yes.
Yes. But it also presents, you know, especially, you know, having to distance and do those things. There's space to be able to do that in.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else that you want to?
I think that's all. I just want to encourage everyone to you know, to chip in, and this would be your opportunity to really place your name in the building, because again, those that volunteer and help us out, volunteer and endow and sponsor. You know, we're going to make sure that your name is in the building and you're going to be part of that building's history. You know, when you got plaques up on the wall that say your name and your family's name, and you're going to be a part of what's going to make that building come back alive again.
So if you're interested in participating and being part of that legacy, and you know, not saying, I wish somebody would do something, but actually do something.
Right.
Because here's an opportunity to do something.
Right.
So again, I just thank you very much, Tyler,
Thank
for
you
being
for
here.
having me.
And if you have any questions, get a hold of him. And at the village office, we'll
Yes.
have that information on there. They're very active with their Facebook page. So if you
Yes.
haven't liked or looked at their Facebook page, they're very active with it. And again, this is Carrie Rose, the Meigs Independent Press. Really want to thank Wheels and Deals for sponsoring Community Spotlight that makes this kind of thing possible. And this is all about Meigs Countyans helping Meigs Countyans. This is about our community. And if it's easy to talk about doing things, but it's something else to actually do
Yes.
it. So
Absolutely.
let's make sure that we're doing something, whether it's in Rutland or Racine or Syracuse or Tubbers Plains, wherever it's at. Let's be a part of doing and making our community better. And we'll see you next week.
This week's Community Spotlight is brought to you by Wheels and Deals of Pomeroy and the Meigs Independent Press.